back to ICNV Driversedition, and today I got another interesting topic for you. Technically, we're revisiting the topic pretty much because I put out some information before about can you protect your Corvette, and some information was shared with me to bring some more light into the conversation. Not all of this is new information for me, but I was kind of skeptical about sharing it with you at first because I wasn't trying to teach people how to steal cars. But since somebody else brought a video to light, I feel like we have to talk about this. So the real question is, can you prevent your Corvette from being stolen? And I want to sit there and say to you, it's possible, but it's really hard. And I'm going to share with you why. Let's go. So before we dive into this topic, let's get the formalities out the way. My name is Swole. This is ICNV Driversedition. This is a car community for the car enthusiasts that love to drive cars to make you turn your head, which aren't your everyday people movers. But we're also an interactive community, which means if you hit me up on any one of my social media platforms or in the comments below, I'll do my best to respond. And if the topic you bring up is interesting enough, just like this one, I may even shoot a video on it. Now, with all that information being shared with you, don't forget, check out Larry. If you have a C8, regardless of what version, my man Chet has some wheels for you. Free promo. Love you, Chet. But let's dive into this topic. So the reason why I'm revisiting this conversation, like I explained to you before, is because if you saw my last video about Corvette thefts, I briefly touched on how people were stealing cars. But at the end of the day, it's really bigger than just the information I shared with you. There happens to be a whole community, a whole car theft scene, a whole black market version of what's going on with car theft. And this is part of the insurance hikes that we're seeing, where our insurance rates keep going up because we really don't understand how easy and how simple it has become to steal a car these days. And hopefully with me sharing this information with you, it would allow you to better protect yourself. Or should I say better protect your car. So I want to just touch bases and let you hear out of the individual's mouth what he does, how he does it, and how he comes by these cars and makes this seamlessly theft process. So let's dive into it. And like I said before, I'm only going to give you brief clips of this video because I don't want to take the full credit for this video because I did not make it. But if you want to watch the full video below, go ahead, take the link. The link is in the comments below. And let's get into this topic.
In 2023, over 1 million cars were stolen in America. The business of car theft is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, we've all heard of Kia and Hyundai boys who can smash a window and use a USB cord to steal your car quickly, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. On encrypted platforms like Discord and Signal, there are thousands of car thieves conspiring and orchestrating sophisticated heists. They can steal luxury vehicles from your own driveway while you sleep. They can steal cars from heavily guarded and fenced-in auto dealerships, and they know how to wipe VIN numbers clean so they can put your car in somebody else's name.
So the first thing I want you to understand, car theft is a big industry.
I can take a car from anywhere, anybody's yard, their driveway, garage, wherever, it doesn't matter to me, to be honest. This is a little device, a little Chinese device that's used basically for everything taking cars. Of course I got nicer devices than this, but this is basically just a basic one. GM is so easy to take, it's non-intrusive. They won't even know that I tried to take it. So you go to GM, manual, USA, 17 to 19, smart key. Let's go give it a whirl. Light means you're ready to work. Basically what you're waiting for is the pin to be red, and once that pin's red, we can start it.
And that's it.
That's it. And you see your car even's letting you know, yo, your theft deterrent system's going off. But the car is so broken that we can just take it. So now we're in business. Now we can take this and ride around the city and we'll get some more cars. Let's go.
Someone can literally take my car, put it in their name, and just that's it?
Enough paperwork, enough, pushing papers, you can have anything really in this world cleaned up.
Now that he's explained that part to you, do you see why I say that keeping your car can be a challenge? But not only can it be a challenge, the biggest part that we don't see is, in order for a lot of this to take place, these car thefts aren't random. And that's what I need people to understand. There isn't a sense of randomness about this. See, we believe, or should I say the Corvette community has this belief, that when cars are being stolen, it is a random act. And a lot of times you're being targeted. And I want you to understand that much. Let him explain.
They're watching you. They're always going to be watching you. They only got to be right one time. You got to be right every time. That's the biggest disadvantage to this. A lot of these guys, they're sophisticated. They got key cutters. So if they're coming into the lot, they're taking the VIN down, they're getting the key cut by the VIN, and they're coming opening the door like they own it. But I can take a car from anywhere, anybody's yard, their driveway, garage, wherever. It doesn't matter to me, to be honest.
Now, did you hear him say he could take a car out of your own driveway, or out of a dealer's lot, out of a parking lot, out of a grocery store, out of a mall, anywhere you may be socializing? If your car isn't being attended to, or should I say eyes are being put on your car and the possibilities concerned about theft, your car can be targeted. Now, I've heard so many people come out and say, I have this device, I have that device, and I'm going to track my car. I'm going to let you in a little secret. This is why it's hard to recover and get these cars returned. Check this part out.
And so basically, I'm able to unlock it, just hop in and program a key and be gone in 30 seconds. If it took him 6 minutes, he sucks at his job. Those cameras, absolutely no good. 9 times out of 10, those aren't even hardwired directly for video feed. That's going to be wireless and they're only using a power source. I turn on a Wi-Fi jammer, no good. That shit's done. You know those police boxes they're trying to get you guys to buy with the lights and everything? Trash. Don't even buy it because a jammer, no cellular service, it doesn't work.
Cuts it right off.
No, cuts it right off. Everything in a 50-meter area right here wouldn't work. The OnStar, none of that.
Okay, so let's say I have $5,000. I give you that money with the stolen car. What's going to happen?
I'm going to have my guys disassemble your windshield. They're going to peel the stickers off the door. They're going to re-engrave the VIN numbers wherever it needs to be re-engraved. Common points of the car where it needs to be re-engraved is like the engine bay, or sometimes in some of the Mopars under the passenger seat where the battery is.
Which are all the VINs that you cover?
So on the BMW sticker, typically, we change the sticker behind the license plate. We change the 2 stickers that are on the door, the tire, and the VIN information. We re-engrave the engine bay VIN number.
Because it's not a sticker, it's actually engraved.
Yeah, it's engraved into the metal.
Also, I know we had said something about the actual VIN in the computer. What comes out, so when you do the swap, what does the new VIN look like?
So that's the add-on to the swap price. It's typically ranges from like $2,500 to $5,000 to reprogram the ECU.
Okay, and what is reprogramming the ECU entail?
We delete the old number, VIN number, and we put the new one back on.
You delete the stolen VIN number.
Right.
Now, I get it. You never thought about it from that point. You know why? Because you're law-abiding citizens. So who would actually think to use a jammer? But jammers are being used all the time. And I hate to say it, I've experienced it once. I was out somewhere and my phone just would not work and I couldn't figure out why. The next day I saw on Facebook that somebody's Trackhawk had been stolen from the area I was in. So I just put 1 and 2 together like, wow, that's amazing, because I was actually in that area and the car was stolen. Not only that, I've been downtown in Chicago at a hospital and they have stolen cars from parking garages. Now, I think that's kind of interesting because to me, that would seem to be more of a harder target. But I guess when you're doing this and you pay attention, it's really not.
If I'm getting ready to hit this point, I hit GM, and then look for the model. You're going to do manual selection, GMC, and then Sierra 1500 at the right year. Just 2017 to 2020. Smart key because it's push to start, and then boom. Basically now I'm ready to go. All I gotta do is plug up into the car and I'm good to go. Most times I'd already be ready. I wouldn't be clicking buttons here. I would have already been preset in the car and just pull up. And it's the same thing. You're just accessing the immobilizer of the car. You're adding a key. But what you're doing is, this car works on a system to add a key. So when that pin is read, instead of continuing the process, we're going to immediately start the car. And that's the glitch. So this pin's going to read, the car's going to recognize we're doing something to it. It's going to look for internet. And so basically once it reads that pin, you're going to immediately start this car. And so when you're in the moment, this feels like an eternity. You're like, oh, why is this thing not hurrying up? See, there we go. Boom. And that's it. And then I unplug, and I could do another one until basically the situation is too hot.
Is it illegal to have that pad?
No. Most states don't even have laws about owning this without a locksmithing license.
The technology is farther ahead than the legal system is.
100%.
So I think you really need to understand that they come prepared. Let's take a quick break and do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 2,500 subscribers. We're chasing the movement. Be part of it. Join the channel, especially if you like the content you've seen so far. We have more stuff like this coming your way, and you too can help guide the focus of the content that comes your way. So subscribe to the channel, hit that like button.
Amazon's the biggest contributor to this, 110%. They're selling OEM keys, locksmithing tools, anything. You can buy key cutters on Amazon. This is a universal. It's in the shape of a Dodge key, but this is a universal key. How you can tell is it has no car figure in. So you either have a car or have an SUV. So I can take this and generate this with my tab and make this a 2023 Honda Civic key. I plug up into the Honda Civic and the car will think this is a OEM key. What car is this? A Tahoe? Or is it Tahoe, yeah. So this takes more time than it's going to take me to grab this car.
Let me try good.
You wait for the blue light. When it's blue, it means you're ready to work. So you see how it's blue? Now you just go to hot functions, add a keys pin. This is the glitch. This is how everybody's taking GMs. And but see, this is the thing. This is not even the nice tablet. This is a cheap tablet that you can buy for. The alarm might go off. No alarm. See? When it's unlocked, there's no alarm. Right now, we should be going beep, 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 beep. And then once it reads the pin, you don't touch anything. Look, you see reading pin? Now, once it tells me the pin, I'm good to go. There. Now look. You drive. And look, but this is the even crazier part. I can now take this and start another car.
And the last. Oh, shit. That's all over the shop. Okay, will you be my witness in court that I wasn't? Okay. Oh, there he goes.
A lot of people, when they take these, they forget that there's no key, because there's no key for this. So if they turn it off to get gas, oh shit, I forgot. Sometimes there's cars that I will never even program a key for, I'll just drive it with that.
I guess with all this information I've shared, you're pretty much wondering what can you do to protect your car? And that's kind of why I labeled this conversation, or should I say this video, the way I did. But there are some things out there that you can do. Now, I know a lot of people want to talk about the throttle commander and how it kills power to your car.
And they're damaging the electrical system to tear out any manufacturer. They're the #1 guilty of this. They're literally, I mean, basically their owner manuals are how-to guide how to remove OnStar. If I'm second guessing myself about GPS technology, I'm looking at the owner's manual, or I'm researching online about the car. I can take a Camaro without having to use a bypass. Are you familiar with how Mopars are taken? We have to tear out the glove compartment and then pull the carpet, and it gives us access to something called the Star brute force bypass. And so on Mopar, you need to use a bypass. Most kids don't know how to do it.
Now, I don't know if you heard the part where he said they tear dashboards up and things of that nature. Yes, your throttle commander may stop them from taking a car. And I say may, because you have two type of crooks. You have the one that's going to tear the dashboard apart trying to figure out why the car won't start. But you won't hear any of the factory theft alarms going off because they're programmed into the car. And if they're watching you, like most people are being targeted, and I got to say that again, people are being targeted.
They're watching you. They're always going to be watching. They only got to be right one time. You got to be right every time. That's the biggest disadvantage to this.
That's why you've seen videos on Instagram where people with certain type of cars are finding Apple AirTags attached to their car, because people are tracking them and watching them and seeing how long or where they park their cars on consistent basis, and then how long they're in this area, whether this is a job location, is this area secure, is this somewhere where they're storing their vehicle. They're taking this information and documenting it. So when they come to get your car, they're coming with the idea of, they have an idea of how long they have to work with your car. Now, the goal is always to be out in 6 to 8 minutes max. Many of them say 4 minutes or less. So you got to think about this. This is really a quick transaction. If they get into your car and the startle commander is stopping them from getting to your car, it's did its purpose, but I guarantee you're going to have a lot of more damage to your vehicle. And what's going to end up taking place is, if they're coming to target your car, they will return again to try to get it. But this time around, they're going to come with a different strategy or research and figure out that you got X, Y, and Z probably on your car preventing it from being stolen, and they're going to come looking for those specific items. I'm just being upfront with you. The other thing about it is, once your car gets hit twice or 3 times, and I have 2 friends going through that with some SRT model cars, the insurance becomes so high that it makes owning it impossible. So now you have to unload the car because you can't afford to pay the insurance on it. I'm not going to say you can't afford to pay the insurance on it, but the cost of having insurance on a car becomes something you start to debate, is it really worth it? So you got to remember these things. But the point of me bringing all this up is that you can put on your car an ECU block. That plug can be bought off of Amazon, some of your local auto parts stores, some of your local auto parts stores, and numerous places online. As crazy as it may sound, I would say buy 2, switch up the keys. It just sounds crazy, but you don't want to make it real simplistic, because yes, it deters people from going into the car, but it also slows down the response time. As protection plans advance, these advance. And so if your protection plan has advanced, they're going to come in targeting different ways to get it. So the ultimate way to actually slow down your car from being stolen is to make it more difficult to start it, to log into it, and to take off with it. So some people say they got the key fob blockers so the signal can't go out. That is beautiful, but you should have learned from this video that they don't need that. What's actually happening is they're coming in with your car preset into a device. It's sending what I would like to categorize, but I don't know the technical term for it, so I'm going to give you a categorization term for it. It's sending a pretty much generalized factory reset, or should I say factory open signal, that's provided by GM as a master key to get into your car, as if you work at a dealership or you were a locksmith trying to get into the car and reprogram the valve. So when they come in, they have a remote, which like he showed you in the video, which is a universal remote. It's programmed to receive the car code for the vehicle you have. He can come and unlock it. Once he unlocks it, no factory set alarm is going off. You now have to plug into the car within a certain amount of time to prevent the factory theft system from going off. And then once you plug into it, you can now start the car using the device. He's already stated that for you. You can drive with the device plugged in, you can drive the device to remove, and then later program a key to the car. So this is how the car is being stolen so quickly. Once you understand this, all these other products that's been sold to you, they work for the small time thief. I'm not going to tell you to not get them, but they only work for the small time thief. People that are truly targeting your cars, the real car thieves, they're way more advanced. And that was the point I was trying to get across in the first video. The people who really want your car, the true car thieves, they are way more advanced than you actually think. And there's a lot of valuable information in this video. Like I said below, check out the link below and watch the whole video. He's sharing some very valuable information. They also blurred out a lot of information because they don't want to release too much for those that's trying to learn the game. But at the end of the day, and I say this till I'm blue in the face, the best way to protect your car from being stolen is still a good old-fashioned alarm system. And the reason why is because you need something that's going to make noise and draw attention to your vehicle being tampered with. When you do install the alarm system, I highly recommend you do not connect it to the key fob. Back in the day, that was the cool thing. You can have your aftermarket alarm tied into the normal factory car fob. You don't want to do this, because if you do that and they come with the universal key signal, it will also deactivate any third-party alarm system. So you want to go back to the inconvenience mode, where it's an inconvenience to unlock the car with an additional key remote. But I promise you, you'll rather do that and still have your car than not do that and your car be gone.
No wireless, no more internet, none of that, because the internet is susceptible to power outages. So if all your security features are Bluetooth and wireless, the minute that jammer comes on, none of it's working. I think my biggest fear is secondary trackers. All day. Especially
that's
ones
what you worry about.
That's what scares me to death. Secondary trackers that are wired to the car. Not anything like Apple tags. Apple tags are useless. Tile, useless. Any of that junk, useless. Get brick house security boxes that are magnetic that stick to the underside of the car, or low jack that's hardwired into the vehicle. And make sure when they install it, they put it somewhere that's not immediately underneath the steering wheel, because that's the first place anybody's going to check. Yeah, but if you put it somewhere wired into the trunk or into the engine bay, they're not thinking in the moment, and that, I think, will give law enforcement enough time, because most law enforcement want to stop this.
Yeah, for sure.
But what can they do when they just find a car abandoned in the middle of nowhere and there's no information about this? Low jacks will give them the history of how these cars are traveling, where they're going, and ultimately, I think it's going to show that most of these cars are ending up at other dealerships to steal other cars.
And the last thing I want to sit there and say to you, and it was mentioned in the video, was invest in some trackers. Now, trackers aren't easy to obtain online, but a lot of your aftermarket stereo alarm system installed retailers actually have some form of tracking devices they can put in your car. LoJack is very popular. LoJack does not work in all 50 states. LoJack is only as good as the police department that's trying to find your vehicle. The one thing I don't like about LoJack is it doesn't give me personal access to where my vehicle is located. Now, there are some trackers out there that are used by people who do Turo and things of that nature. So like I said, talk to people, talk to your retailers, because there are some trackers out there that will allow you to track your vehicle, and those are the ones you want. And they don't necessarily use radio signals, so jammers don't work that much against them. But they will work when the car is first stolen. What happens is they don't know they're on the car, so once they turn the jammer off, that's when your car will pop back up on the radar. Keep them hardwired to the car. Don't have them behind the dash or in the basic locations where people like to look. Well, I'm not going to say people like to look. Where they're generally installed, install them somewhere else. And I want to say one more thing when it comes to this before I let you guys go. And that is, many people like to believe and trust in OnStar. And in this video, he talked about how easy it was to bypass OnStar. And literally he said he can bypass OnStar with a jammer, and not only with a jammer, that they know where to go behind the dashboard to disconnect it because GM told them. It's in the manual. So not only are they using jammers to disinstall OnStar, they're still in the car. So when they get to a safe location, they disconnect OnStar. So that's why a lot of these cars are never being recovered. But I hope this information was useful for a lot of you. Again, I have to restate, go watch the full video. The link is in the comments below. As always, ICNV Driver's Edition. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Join the ICNV Driversedition community. We are a community of car enthusiasts that love to drive cars to make you turn your head, that aren't your everyday people movers. We're also an interactive community, which means if you hit me up on any one of my social media platforms or in the comments below, I will do my best to respond. And if the topic you bring up is interesting enough, I may even shoot a video on it. We were all made in his image and given dominion over the world, which means we weren't just meant to be. So chase your dreams, build your visions, never ever give up, and embrace your own identity. It is okay to be unique. He's not done with you, and he's definitely not done with me. So remember to stay humble, to stay focused, and stay blessed. And I will see you in these streets. Peace.